and with Youth Day commemorated on Wednesday, there are still many issues affecting young people. Unemployment remains top of that list, and to address this and how the youth can deal with it, we now speak to John Sane, who is an author and future strategist. John, thank you so much for joining us. I love the name Future Strategist because I think that should be the focus for a lot of our young people today. When I look at what they're studying in school even, I think about, are they even being prepared for the future and the new world that we are all headed to? So let's start there.
Well, thank you so much for having me, but I really think we find ourselves in such a difficult place. You know, we don't trust the past because it doesn't make any guarantees for the future, and we are uncertain of the future. So whatever we do based on old ideas and thinking doesn't guarantee us any sort of success. And I think it's not just the youth that are struggling. I think it's everybody that's struggling. And obviously, being Youth Month, I've written quite a long article and researched it quite in depth to try and figure out what would be the best sort of actionable points for us to take into consideration when working with our youth. And in South Africa, we've been voted now with the highest number of youth that are unemployed, which is such a sad state that we are working to fix. But I think there's three things that we need to take into account that I think make the most sense. Number one is that we live in a surplus society. In other words, we have a surplus of people around the world that have studied similar courses and degrees, and the world of work and employment has just got too many people. So we're finding ourselves all around the world short of jobs, which is something that we need to speak about. The second thing is that we have automation just around the corner. Pretty much every job is going to be automated at some level, whether you're a doctor, an accountant, a teller, or a driver. Even authors are being disrupted at the moment with AI and their ability to write articles and books. And then lastly is inertia. We have, as a society, the inability to change at a fast enough rate for what's coming. So whether you're already successful or you're a youth that's just coming out of school or not even able to go to school, this ability to think about something in the future that is not like the past has got all of us in a flight or fright situation. Many people are anxious and frustrated of what we need to be doing for the future. So the structures that we need to be building need to be vastly different to what we have at the moment to prepare the workforce for not jobs, not employment, but ultimately internet-based entrepreneurship is the real key for us to unlock the sort of potential that we have.
All right, John. So, I mean, you know, with that said, what do you say to parents and perhaps there are some young people who are watching in getting prepared for that future? I mean, you spoke about the automation that's taking place and then this idea of inertia, this being afraid to kind of think of the future and start planning for that. What would your advice be to parents? I mean, just last night I was helping my daughter study history, and I looked at it and I was like, why is she doing this? Why is she doing this?
Exactly. Yeah. Look, I think the key here is that we're moving towards something called the creator economy or the passion economy. And this is very much based on the world pre-industrialization. If you think about every town and every village had its own baker, butcher, and candlestick maker. And all of these were micro businesses based on a family's history or a family's passion. Today, we're moving back to that, but we ourselves are the economy. Our micro businesses can now proliferate around the world, finding our village or our town all around the world without borders. The key here is finding that passion. The key here is finding your gift, and that is only brought about through exposure. So how can you take your kids and expose them to as many different careers, jobs, titles, entrepreneurship, startups as you can for them to figure out what actually
what it is that they want, and of course what the future could possibly look like. And you know what, John, I love what you just said there, because now you've taken the responsibility from children to just dream, but you're making parents feel uncomfortable about the comfortable and challenging them to also start looking at the future with their children as well. John, thank you so much for that. John Sane there, he's an author and future strategist. Look him up. Lots of great thoughts coming from John there.